again. How are you doing today, Phantom Ryu?
I'm hype. I'm an old man that staying up way past his bedtime for this. But ladies and gentlemen, we are off. The tournament race has begun. We have two independent races going on right now. We got Yukisaka0 versus Zaen up at the top. dawningark versus LoonyCloud87 at the bottom. Now, all four of our runners are running on the same seed. However, the two top versus bottom is independent of each other.
Also, they're on different ends of the bracket. So Yukisaka and Zaen are both currently 1-0, and dawningark and LoonyCloud are both currently 0-1. Well, first tier tree pulls 20 rupees. That's always a great find.
Money, 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 money.
Oh, Uncle has the lamp. Something useful. That's an early lamp.
Wait, is this even randomized? I mean, I get it's early lamp. Come on, no dark room hype, man.
Yeah, usually the lamp's been pretty trolly in the last few scenes.
Yeah, as Chad is rightfully pointing out, does this mean we have an Agahnim required seed? Oh boy.
Well, for Keysanity, because I know you're not super familiar, so we'll lay this down for chat. Keysanity is just like open and standard, except it takes the big keys, the small keys, the compasses in the map, and puts them all in the item pool. So you can find anything anywhere. The thing with the Aga 1, what makes it even less likely on Keysanity than it is on open or standard, is not only do you have to have the lamp and either a master sword, a sword, and a cape, you have to also have 2 castle tower keys in order to get through Agahnim's tower.
As I am famous for saying, you are already making my brain hurt. Thank you. So we got Zaen hanging out with the Hoarder upstairs. The Hoarder dropping 20 rupees. Wow.
So this is going to be a rich seed just from regular pulls. And then map on Lumberjack Ledge means they don't really want to do Agahnim 1, but that is information if it's a map they could use.
So you're speaking about the map, IB Karma. So explain to anyone who might not be familiar with Keysanity, maps and compasses actually are important here in Keysanity. Let us know why.
Well, compasses not so much. So what they did was they wanted each item to do something different. So the compasses, what they'll do is for the respective dungeon, they'll give you the total item count and the items you've obtained from that dungeon, so you can keep track on if you full cleared it or not. Now, for most runners, that's not needed. Most runners know where every item is in the dungeon and can mentally keep track of whether they've completed it or not. Now, the maps are a different story. The reason the maps are handy is because the maps will tell you whether it's a crystal or a pendant. In this mode, when you open your map, if you notice, nobody has done a map check yet because everything's blank. Until you receive the map for that dungeon, you will not know whether it's crystal or pendant. They also all have the same music, so there's no possible way to tell.
It's kind of the troll version of Link to the Past Randomizer, if you think about it that way. Oh,
Ooh.
We got the Moon Pearl in Chicken Hut. Wow.
That's a good one.
You had never turned down the Moon Pearl, would not kick it out of bed for eating crackers.
So Moon Pearl and Lamp is all we found so far. I won't say it's a bad start, but they need something.
Absolutely.
So well. Oh, glove and
well. We got that's right. We got the power glove. It is so bad. Some love in the Kakariko well as well. Now, all of our runners seem to be taking a very similar route here through
Holy
the beginning
crap,
of the
the well. Cape and hook shot.
The hook shot. Amazing.
Oh,
early. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to say that well is hype.
Absolutely. Bottom of the well hype. Not as cool as the bottom of the well in Ocarina of Time, but still pretty cool.
I just don't know why people will be throwing all that away.
All right, we got the map of Palace of Darkness. We got Swirly Coin, a.k.a. Bombos, Triple Booms, and one more item here in the thieves' hideout. Let's see what waits our runners today. A key to Ganon's tower. That's always helpful.
Yeah, you need... So, when I say all the keys, I mean all the keys. So even all Ganon's tower's keys are mixed into the world. So you need usually 1 to 2 keys is what you want before going up Ganon's tower, just so you don't have to slow down and kill stuff and find the keys that are locked up in the gauntlet. There's always the free keys, so if you only end up with, like, let's say they only end up with that one, they can still go and get the free key on the left side of Ganon's tower.
You'll notice Zaen, because of that encounter with the Hoarder earlier, has got a significant rupee advantage on the rest of the competitors in this race. Again, top race is independent of bottom race, but it's useful for comparison. Although LoonyCloud has 328 rupees as well, so both of our runners on the right side have a rupee advantage. Could be significant depending on whether or not our good friend Zora, purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons, has anything today for our runners.
I'm just waiting for somebody to check something new. I'm waiting for the first person to either go dam side, eastern. I mean, we can actually see pretty big divergence already. With hookshot, and hookshot makes the bomb strats for escape super easy. So they can go do front side of escape if they want, by just freezing the guards with hookshot and then bombing them. Or they can go eastern, or they can go south shore. I expect most will go south shore like Zane's about to do.
South Shore with a mini Moldorm cave, and it's 5 items in that cave alone, plus the 2 that Zane's about to hit in the swamp here.
Now, Sank's only a piece of heart, so not too useful. Oh, that is true. They got Death Mountain access already, too. So we see dawningark. He's already going to go up the mountain. He's following the breadcrumbs.
He'll be going up the mountain when he comes. Meanwhile, Yukisaka going to go ahead and take a check at the 3 items here in escape. It's like sometimes the runners are reading your mind there, Karma.
Oh yeah, then look, shovel, piece of heart, and 50 rupees. So back for escape has a shovel, so breadcrumbs into breadcrumbs. But I actually like dawningark's play the best out of all of them so far. I think this is what the seed wants you to do, and there's a pod small key to start it off on the mountain.
Yeah, Death Mountain. Once you get east side access, Light World alone, that is 8 items if you count the 7 in Paradox Caves and the 1 in Spiral Cave. So you've got 8 unique items just by getting the hookshot and the power glove.
And he actually gets 9 total items plus a 10th check because he gets Spectacle Rock as well.
Indeed. So we've got Fisher Price, Baby's First Shield, over there in Mini Moldorm Cave.
And he will go after that key. Like, so here's the thing. You'll go after any key you see pretty much until you have all that you need. You will not dodge a key. No matter how out of the way it is. Now, if you notice, he saw a compass up on Spectacle Rock. They won't grab it.
No. If it were a map, it might be a different story. But
yes, yeah. If it's a map, I actually expect that they would take the time to grab that later, especially if they're missing key information.
Sure.
So your best way to find dungeon information other than the map in Keysanity mode is actually talking to Sahasrara when someone gets over there. He'll tell you where the green pendant is, and then when you get to the Dark World, if you go into Link's house in the Dark World, there's the guy who sells you the giant bomb for Fat Fairy. He'll tell you the 5 and 6 crystals.
Very nice. Well, we got a small key to Turtle Rock in Ice Rod Cave. Again, like you were mentioning before, we don't know what keys we need and which ones we don't yet because, as you mentioned, we can't just check the map and figure out which dungeons are pendants and which dungeons are crystals. So, yeah, you can't afford to pass up a key.
Yeah, as scary as this sounds, these tend to be more towards 100% dungeon seeds. You tend to dip almost every dungeon in these. You actually count yourself lucky if you get a seed where you don't have to dip into every dungeon. And also for those who are new to this mode, so there is different key counts for each dungeon. You'll probably end up seeing a lot of T-Rock and Pod keys because there's 6 Pod and 4 T-Rock keys. The only other keys that truly actually matter are Swamp Palace, Desert, and Hera. The reason being there's one key for each, and they both unlock critical items, or as for Swamp, the dungeon itself. But if they find, like, let's say Mire, Ice Palace, or Skull Woods keys, it's kind of sad because they don't need them.
And if you'll notice on the tracker, if you look at the icon for each individual dungeon, as our runners pick up keys, there will be a Arabic numeral there indicating the number of keys that they have found for that particular dungeon. And hey, we have our first sword. It is the Fisher-Price sword, as always, up in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, so like we surmised, this wanted you to come up here. This is the logical step. I would assume the next step either... Well, here's the crazy part. If they find the castle tower keys, they have Aghahnim's tower access full.
Whew.
It may be an Aga 1 seed after all.
Yep.
So the options are they're either going to find the hammer or the Titan's Mint, or they're going to find both castle tower keys.
And wouldn't that be a thing to find both Agahnim tower keys in a Keysanity seed?
We've seen it happen before in some of the races already. It's actually, it seems like the odds during V28 have went up a little bit, but it's still kind of a rarity to see in Keysanity. So that's what is that the second T-Rock key we've seen, or just the first?
I believe that's just the first.
There's the second Nice Cave.
So we have gotten a couple quick questions in the chat about the sprites that our individual runners are using. So Yukisaka is using our modern Link sprite, a little bit more realistic, not as bright colors on Link. Zaen is using Popoi from Secret of Mana. LoonyCloud87 is running the Tingle sprite, and I do believe dawningark is running Twilight Princess Zelda?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And the Popoi sprite, I assume, is really going to be really big right now, especially with that Secret of Mana remake coming out.
Absolutely.
Not to mention everybody just likes the original Secret of Mana anyways.
I mean, how could you not? So, alright, so LoonyCloud's going to be heading into Sahasrahla, as you mentioned earlier. We're going to find out, we believe, what... He's not talking to him yet. Maybe we'll talk to him on the way out to find out which dungeon is the green pendant. Alright, we got a key to pod. We got...
There's the first one.
Tower and the mirror.
So here's the sad part. So they've all been up the mountain already, and now they're going to find Mirror. So the thing with Mirror is it really doesn't give them much more item access. It gives them that compass on the ledge, but it also gives them the first two keys in the two checks in Hera. Yeah. Ooh, that's the big key for Turtle Rock that we... is that the first person who's gotten it?
Yes, I believe so.
Alright, so the big key for Turtle Rock was in Spiral Cave.
So Loony is going to head into Eastern. No keys in Eastern Palace, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they actually have both key to Castle Tower. There was a key to Castle Tower in the top half of Paradox Cave. This is going to be an Aga seed.
Yeah. I believe at this point, yeah, if you got both the keys, you've got the cape. Yeah, and the sword. Obviously, you have to have a sword
and the lamp.
Oh.
They've literally got every requirement needed for this to be an Aga seed. The only hope they got is like Loony. I don't know if Loony's found everything yet, but Loony's given the hope that maybe they'll find Titans, or maybe they'll find Hammer. But this is definitely pointing at an Aga 1 without any kind of sequence break.
That's very interesting. So dawningark found the second key to Ganon's tower. So depending on where the big key is, that's really all you need is the two keys because of the one that's being held by the mini Helmisers.
So Afrohawk in chat was saying that he didn't know about that Houlihan. There's two different Houlihan setups. One is a sort of bomb jump that's within the sinkhole to the back of Escape. The other one is the one that's the cave. Like, if you exit Sanctuary, go to the right, and then go up, there's a cave, and then a bush that makes a hole. If you go in the cave, exit the cave, and then jump in the water 4 times, then go jump in the hole under the bush, that also will do Hula Hand. But you cannot have flippers for that one.
Yeah. I believe, right, because it's based on falling into the water and then the game kicking you back out and losing focus on you. GamerCal actually has a pretty good video on YouTube explaining those methods of getting to the Hula Hand room.
And the Hula Hand room's really nice. It's, I think, 225 rupees just for free.
That's correct.
So we got back of Escape being checked. We got Eastern Palace being checked. So far, I haven't seen anything that would change my mind that this is an AGA 1 seed.
I completely concur. Unless there is something here on the other side of Eastern Palace, which might have been the reason they got the lamp early, I fail to see how this wouldn't be AGA right now.
Well, he also has Mirror, so if that's a second sword, that's actually Master Sword. If you wanted to confirm it's AGA seed, that is Master Sword. So the way this works, and I expect this is going to be how it is for every one of these runners, they're going to check everything they can before going to AGA. AGA is a 5-minute time sink, just like it is in any other run. Nobody wants to do it.
Very true. And there's only 2 items in AGA Tower as well, so even though it's Keysanity, and there's the possibility that those actually could be something, it's a 5-minute time sink for 2 items.
So here's the funny part. It may not be an AGA required seed. It may just be the Dark Maze is required.
True.
But you only need 1 key for that. But they could be very well one of the first 2 items they find is the other piece they're missing.
Well, dawningark is going to head and take the gamble on AGA.
It's kind of sad. I wish he at least went over to... well, he only has 1 key. He hasn't been over to Eastern Sahasrahla to get the other key yet. I think he's gambling on one of these first 2 chests having something right now.
Yeah. And you're looking at how much of a pain in the rear it is to destroy those ball and chain guards in AGA Tower with just the Fisher-Price sword.
First item is a key to Ganon's Tower, which means they already have all the Ganon's Tower keys they need for just the gauntlet portion.
That is the 3rd key that we found collectively for Ganon's Tower. So that is, depending on the item locations, should be more than enough to finish it.
Oh, we had a sick kid check that I didn't get to see.
Too much banner, not enough paying attention to the runners. How dare we? We're fired, Karma. We are fired.
Hey, chat. What did Zaen find from sick kid?
And
Pizza Heart.
That is a mark of a true professional, finding someone else to do our jobs for us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here all night.
Hey, we got to rely on chat for something.
That's right. Oh, shots fired.
Oh, me and chat had fun yesterday.
So we got Yukisaka retreading over through Eastern Palace. Now, if he continues on and finds all the items he can right now, he will get his Master Sword upgrade.
Yeah, so chat's already making the comment that Dawning's not going to be happy when he goes over to actual Eastern and finds the other key and the Master Sword.
So it looks like Zaen may be making the Agahnim play, and I believe he has both keys.
He's actually making the sewer play. He's making the 1 chest in sewers in the dark room, which is actually not a bad play. It could turn out to be something good.
One of our runners already checked it. I believe it was a key. I don't remember to where. Okay.
Again, something else I missed that was checked. Sometimes Sometimes it's hard to keep focus on 4 different runs, especially when they're like
sometimes? Only sometimes?
this. Hey, if they're all in perfect sync, it's easy.
Right. Small key to get GT, that's what it was.
Okay, so that's another GT key. Looks like dawningark is farming up bombs for Zora.
Meanwhile, LoonyCloud is over here sitting with 938 rupees or 939 rupees. I can't tell which because I'm an old man with bad vision. But he has not yet decided to head over to Zora. Out of the way and without flippers or fake flippers. Well, of course, he could fake flipper up there. The one you can only get the Zora item. So,
well, see, Loony's routing is actually fairly decent. He gets to come over here and do all of Death Mountain in one go. He even has mirror. He can go check 2 Hera items, and if it's something good that could have led him in a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think we're down to just the Zora that's in the logic, Agahnim Cave that's not been checked, and the 2 items in Hera.
To right now.
Yeah, so that's going to eliminate one of the 3. If LoonyCloud goes up to Hera, that'll eliminate those 2, which means the only item we'll have not checked is the sorry, going through a bunch of different variations in my head. I want to see what's in Agahnim Cave too.
Yeah, let us see. Agahnim is just a compass for Tower of Hera. So, no real help there. Then again, how often does Agahnim have anything useful anyway?
So, yeah, without clearing Aga, the only 2 spots we have left that's not been checked is Tower of Hera, 2 items, and then the one from Zora. Now, it looks like Dawning's going to come down here, fake flippers up, with Moon Pearl. He's going to get his Jesus Walk on, which will make checking everything a little easier.
That's the Jesus Walk. Yeah, so I guess we should be singing the "Where, oh, where can my progression be?" this time.
How many places? It's heavily leaning towards Aga 1 required right now. I mean, something major would have to change. Now, if Dawning does fake flippers and finds Hammer or Mitts in one of the flippers locked locations, he will sequence break Aga, which would be interesting. If he's the only one that does it and sequence breaks Aga, that would actually give him a huge advantage.
Like many other things in Randomizer, yes, there are times when you can break the logic, and it is a gamble because sometimes it will work out, like you were saying, could allow you to bypass that 5-minute slog through Aga Tower. Other times, though, it can lead you in the wrong direction and cause you to pass over a location that you would have checked if you stayed in the logic.
Both of which are true. A lot of times, what ends up getting logic broken is lamp, is what you see the most often. Lamp and flippers.
Right.
Which, for people who haven't watched the Rando race before, if you watch dawningark screen here in a minute, I expect you'll see.
I agree. I can't imagine he wouldn't fake flipper at this time.
So the game's just going to automatically think he has flippers. The only downside to this is if he gets damaged while doing fake flippers, he insta-dies.
That's actually a bug fix put in by the developers, because you can soft lock the game if you get hit while in a fake flipper state in the original version of the game, which would force you to have to reset Hammer on Lake Hylia Island. Wow, that was a bit of a non sequitur, but that is important information for our runners to know.
Well, here's the fun part. That means that he will not be able to sequence break Hammer, but that also means that Hammer The only ways in the Dark World then are literally going to be Aga Tower and the Titan's Mit's location.
That's right.
There's nothing else he could find now. That heavily limited his options. Let's see if he knows the glitch to get back in the water. Okay, good. He hit the water prior. You can actually soft lock there.
Ooh.
So for those who haven't seen it, if you hit the water before the screen transitions, you're fine. Now, if you hit the wall before you hit the water for the screen transition, the game won't know what to do with you. It'll actually stick you in the ground off screen a little bit, and you'll be stuck there. Generally, if you don't want to reset your game, like it's been a while since you save and quit, you'll be stuck for about a minute and a half before you can save and quit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been notified that Zaen has just opened a chest, and that's gotta be Kane!
Where did he find that at?
Does it matter?
It does, because no other runners found it yet. That's actually an important item. Now, Yuki is actually following logic and died in the Aga Tower, though.
Kane was in Hera.
Okay.
Chat is telling us.
So one of those two items in Hera that I was talking about was Kane of Samaria.
Alright, but meanwhile, both LoonyCloud and Zaen and Yukisaka, so we got 3 of our runners heading up Tower of Hera right now. The purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons just spits out a piece of heart for dawningark.
He didn't even take it. Well, see, so dawningark has 2 really good pieces of information that the other runners don't have. 1, he knows where Hammer is. 2, he also knows there's a big key on Zorledge.
Yeah.
That is both very useful pieces of information. So normally you see a lot of people fake flippers early game. The fact that he was the only one gives him the only knowledge right now of where Hammer's location is.
And like many other things, yeah, let me untie my tongue. This old man is up, like I said, is up a little too late. But information is extraordinarily powerful in this game because if you know where something is, you also know where it isn't. So that can be a huge advantage in your routing through the game compared to your opponent who doesn't have that knowledge. And Agahnim up on Yukisaka's screen is saying bye Felicia to Princess Zelda, sending her on to the Dark World. All right, so chat, how many blue balls do we think Agahnim's going to spit out today?
So here's something I expect to happen while we're waiting on chat and watching the fight. I expect dawningark, as soon as he gets to Dark World, might literally just loop straight around to Hammer. At least I would. I would loop straight to Hammer knowing where it's at as soon as he gets flippers.
Yeah, because that is one of the few couple locations that you just absolutely have to have flippers to get. You can't fake flipper over there. So
yeah, he has everything else besides flippers that he needs to reach it though. So that's at least the good part.
Now, Agahnim is being a little bit trolly here, but oh my gosh, what is that? 3 blue balls in a row?
Is that a 4 blue ball first phase?
Oh my gosh.
No, the first one's always a regular, right? Or is it just the first, is it the first one after the first phase?
It's the first one after, yeah. But wow. So the nice thing though is that even though the number of blue balls, oh my gosh, Agahnim is going nuts here with the blue balls. But even though it is random how many blue balls Agahnim will spit out, it is the same for every single runner. So
couldn't have been too bad. He hit him with 3 right there, and that was it.
Yeah.
So he had to get 6 hits. So six blue balls is what chat's saying? 6 blue balls.
That was at least 5 too many.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever had an Aga 1 fight that was less than 3.
so Yukisaka looks like he's gonna just head straight up to Catfish.
The blue ball are. I actually do not know if it's just a straight 50-50 shot or not. I know he has a maximum amount he can shoot. I think the limit's what, 14?
14 or 15, something like that. And yes, he absolutely can reach Catfish, Nightwolf. So even if you don't have the mitts or the boots, you can just see what he just did there. Just drop down, take the ladder back up, and yep. All right, gonna be anything interesting here at Catfish? Let us see.
So,
yes,
due to
indeed.
our knowledge, we know we're looking for... What key was that?
I believe it was a Hera key.
Ooh, okay. So, Hera only has one key, that unlocks one chest to the Hera basement.
Yep.
So, tile room to the Vanilla Big Key location. Now, funny enough, I've seen Vanilla Big Key in Hera a lot.
Well, I noticed before, now Yukisaka knows that there is a big key of some import on the Zora ledge. Dawningark's going to dig up another key. This is the key for Ganon's Tower. Or find a lot of Ganon's Tower keys, but don't know how helpful all those Ganon's Tower keys are going to be. Meanwhile, LoonyCloud dipping on into that sweet, sweet Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that's what I was going to give you, is that the only thing I can think the Castle Tower keys would be good for, or the Ganon's Tower keys, is that there is a way that you can actually go into Ganon's Tower, have to get something, to leave, to get a required item out of a pendant.
Sure. Speaking of required items, just a moment ago, LoonyCloud does find the bow in Palace of Darkness, which is always a good item to find.
Oh yeah, especially finding it in Pod.
Yeah.
That's actually great.
Yeah, Pod and Palace of Darkness being the two dungeons for which the bow is absolutely required, other than, of course, Ganon's Tower. All right,
please.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, chat, please bear with the trackers. They're doing a great job.
Forgive the old man. Pod and Eastern Palace, the two dungeons that you need the bow to complete.
So, bow leads into a big 20, and there's some suspense while we wait for the bomb to blow up.
Drum roll, please.
The Book of Medora.
Literacy. Meanwhile, Yukisaka is checking Cave Above Graveyard.
And finds 3 bombs.
Womp, 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 womp.
You always feel bad when you check those one-off locations and they have absolutely nothing in them.
Indeed. So it's going to be interesting to see how LoonyCloud routes through Palace of Darkness here, because Palace of Darkness has 6 keys. And like you mentioned before, you need all 6 of those to full clear the dungeon. So, ooh. And he finds a $5 rupee. It's sitting there in one of those chests here in Pod. Not exactly what our runners wanted. And another key to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so we questions in chat about tracking. Tracking in this game is not exactly the best. It's a grid-based tracker that when you click on it, refreshes the entire page. So for somebody who, let's say, is tracking the bottom half of the race, they have to scroll that back down to the racers every time they click something. So if something doesn't immediately get updated, give them a second, it will. It also takes a minute for it to pop up once they click the button. Now, if, let's say, a minute or so goes by and you don't see something tracked, just let us know. Or let the trackers know. They'll be happy to get it put on.
LoonyCloud trying to death warp out of Palace of Darkness, but
had a fairy.
He had a fairy.
I saw that. I was like, uh-oh. Oh, there must have been something on Bumper Ledge. Yukisaka's going for it. Let's see what it is, because I didn't see it.
Yep. And it is a map.
Oh, that's a bad map.
Oh. It could have been any map other than that. Darn it.
Yeah, there's only 3 maps you don't want, or 2 maps you don't want to see. The Hyrule Castle map and that map.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the one that Zaen just found. That's a good map. Map of Easter.
This looks like LoonyCloud is heading up north. See if he hits Catfish or if he just hooks shots across the river to head to west side where Yukisaka is right now, finding a key to Desert Palace. That is important.
Yeah, the key for Desert Palace opens up the 2 right side chests. So it's actually a decent find. And we got Yuki. He's going to go check the first 4 Thieves Town chests.
And we did just have a map check from Yukisaka. Noted that Misery Mire is actually the Green Pendant Dungeon. And Pod is a crystal.
Looks like Tracker's already got Zaen updated and a couple others updated too. Desert Palace is a 5.6.
Nice hammer yump there from Zaen.
So my curiosity is, nobody used the free knowledge. Nobody actually found out the green pendant but prior to that, which is kind of amazing to me.
Agreed.
I'm actually curious now if anybody's going to check the bomb merchant.
Nothing doing there on the pyramid ledge. Just some arrows. And big 20 there in Stevestown. So first 4 chests in Stevestown. Bears little to no fruit there. Still a lot of items to check, especially here in the South Dark World route.
You saw Yuki just get a little upset. Sea House has the big key to Thieves Town right after he dipped the first 4 chests.
Oh, it was right next door. Oh, man.
That's great. That's one of those moments you're just like, well, what can you do?
Why? That's usually what I say. Why?
Well, see, I'm the type that before I dip Thieves Town, I'd check all 3 of the houses that are in Village of Outcasts. All 3 item locations I'll check before dipping in. For that reason.
Exactly, because here goes Yukisaka right back in.
At least Thieves Town isn't that bad. Thieves Town it's not much different to run from the last chest to here. You have mirror, so at least he had mirror. I think that made it a little better.
And Zaen getting terribly disappointed by finding the triple boom there in Cave Above Graveyard. It takes forever to check. I don't have the mitts. I don't have the boots, so I've got to take the long way up to the ledge. And then I get there and find precisely nada.
Let's see if Thieves Town holds anything good, because Yuki's the only one over here so far.
Be about time. We're hungry for some progression right about now.
Yeah, I mean, they're still missing quite a bit. Again, it's hard to say what they're missing, though. We don't know what's required. Usually, the way that I see the logic, so they've got 3 Turtle Rock keys and the Turtle Rock Big Key. I'd assume that that's going to be a crystal dungeon, more than likely. Just given the amount of stuff they've already found for it. And if that's true, they need both the fire and ice rod.
True. Of course, with the likelihood of the ice rod itself actually being in Turtle Rock, because as it's a common saying in this community, the answer is always Laser Bridge.
Well, see, chat, the biggest thing right now we need to find with our knowledge is we need to find the flippers.
Need them flips.
Not only does it unlock Hammer, it unlocks that big key up on Zora's ledge.
Yep.
Also, currently unlocks Ice Palace.
True.
Well, with Titan's Mitts.
With Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, we do still need Titan's Mitts. Watch, it's going to be like vanilla Titan's Mitts.
Over here in old Steve's Town.
It's going to be like a... it's not going to be true vanilla probably, but it'll be like right here or on Blind yourself. Or himself. Nope. Piece of heart there, or full heart container there.
Yeah, big love.
Now, Super Troll would be if it actually is vanilla Titan's Mitts. And they have to come back for them.
With the hammer. Yeah.
But, yeah. That can actually happen.
So, maybe flips here on Blind. I haven't been counting my items, but flips here on Blind. Go get the hammer, come back, mitts in the chest.
Well, see, remember this Keysanity. There is no item counting in dungeons.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah, so I know that's the big thing about this mode. Everything is an item now.
Right. Or, yeah, could be. Yeah. And big 20 on Blind.
But Thieves Town is a crystal. That's information.
Indeed. And that is the first crystal in this match. We're 42 minutes in, first crystal.
It seems late because you look at this in an open seed and you'd be like, oh my god, that's trolling. But actually for Keysanity, that's fairly average, a 40 minute-ish first crystal.
Absolutely, because if you're not guaranteed to find the keys you need... Man, that rhymed. I didn't even mean for it to.
I'm going to call it now. Flippers are going to be in T-Rock.
I know that happens all the time in standard and open. Hey, shoutouts to E Diggy. Thank you for the subscription there. But yeah, flippers. The items that seem to be in Turtle Rock disproportionately often seems to be the flippers and the bow. Now, of course,
yeah, that's true. Chat's correcting, man. That's true. Hammer's needed to open T-Rock. It can't be in T-Rock.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Can be in Mire?
Yeah. Pickleax Salt, thank you for the sub. Yeah, we're going to need to find the flute to get into Mire, though, and the mitts.
I'm chat. I was just trying to think of something trolly. My mind hadn't rolled to hammer pegs being needed to open that portal yet.
Alright, so Cave South the Grove, aka K43, bears no fruit. What about Old Stumpy?
Nothing.
Nada.
Now he's gonna go get his dig check. Dawningark took a death. I didn't see where, but he's got the ferry.
Stevestown, or excuse me, Skullwoods. Starlord Ben, thank you for the subscription. Oh, just triple boom there in Skullwoods. Are we about to see a ped check from LoonyCloud? I believe so.
So for Bumble Chris, who's asking in chat, this is a completely randomized game. So every item, every key, every big key from the dungeons, everything has been jumbled and mixed up. Now, the way the logic works, it's beatable.
So we've got a key to Ice Palace on the pedestal. I'm sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but a key to Ice Palace on the pedestal. Ooh.
Not required, sadly. It's required by logic, but not required for the racers. So technically, if you were looking at this logically, this would be a ped seed.
Right.
But the way the runners work, that they'll know a bomb jump that will skip the needed keys for ice. But what I was saying for Bumble Chris is that all the items are jumbled up, so it is randomized, but it's a complete like madness randomization. But the items are spread out in a way that it will still lead you to the end of the game. There is really no way to not beat the game. There's always a logical path. Might be hard to find sometimes.
Right. Can you remember what items you have yet to pick up and what items you need? And can you remember what locations are still available for you to check with the items you currently have? It looks like Yukisaka, obviously he's going to check Agahnim here and be profoundly disappointed, but he may head on into Eastern Palace. Or
so
not.
They
Doesn't
did
look
find,
like he has the book yet.
They did find Red Mill. I think that was the only thing, in Hype Cave that he found?
Yeah.
Or formerly Hype Cave.
The cave
it hasn't been hype.
Known as Hype Cave.
I don't think it's been hyped for like 2 or 3 versions now.
It's semi-hype cave in version 28. You have a much better chance for progression in it in version 28 than you did in 27.
Actually, I would say chat's assumption's probably right. Ice Palace is probably a crystal, assuming that key is on pedestal. I guess there is yeah, if it's a pendant, it can't lock itself.
Right. And Pickleax says it'd be neat to have a utility that uses what you marked on your tracker to show you what areas are available for you to check. Well, both Emo Saru's tracker and Cross Products tracker have interactive maps where you click the location and the locations you've checked as well as the items you have, and it will show you what is available to you.
Yep, I know it works with items. I haven't actually tested the Keysanity. I'm sure he's updated it to where it'll tell you if you can check something given the amount of keys you have.
Yeah.
But it's a good utility. If you're in search of any utility for this game, if you're running this game casually or for your first time, if you go to the ALTTP randomizer page, just search it in Google. It's the first result. It has, if you go to help and resources, it'll have external links, and it'll list a bunch of like trackers and other things you can use to help you learn how to play the game.
Here, I'm going to go ahead and link that in chat for everybody right now. Meanwhile, back to the action. Yukisaka, I think, is heading on into pod for the first time. Meanwhile, we got 2 runners in Stevestown, and Zaen is clearing out the South Dark World route.
Oh, Killer Hat pointed out something we missed. Looney accidentally mirrored himself back to the beginning.
Oh. Oh no.
He still had mirror equipped when he got towards the back. I think he was trying to bomb the drop.
Yeah, I think that is something that has happened to anyone who's ever run this game, is you forget that you had the mirror equipped. Like you said, it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, I need to bomb this. Let me hit the Y button. Oh, God, what did I just do?
I don't think so, Pico. What the tracker does is it just reads what items you select and then lights up the places you can check. So, for instance, let's say that you find bow. Let's say you have bow. It'll light up Eastern Palace as clearable.
Right.
As far as standard mode. For pod, you had to have bow and you had to have hammer. And lamp.
Yep.
Once you have all three of those, that'll light up. It doesn't care whether you got everything logically or sequence braked.
Now, Emo and Cross Products Tracker both will shade an item a different color, either yellow or blue, if the item can be accessible with a sequence break. But it only lights them up as green when they're logically accessible.
Okay, see, that's something I even didn't know. I don't use those trackers that often. Yeah. I'm actually trying to wean myself off of tracking.
Understood. Can sometimes become a crutch, and yeah. Oh, we got half magic in Hype Cave as well. I did not notice that the first time, but half magic is always welcome. Never required, but man, does it help.
So something that one of the runners found that you'll like is the other cane.
The wrong cane.
It's not a bad cane to have.
No, not at all. Especially for blind or dashing through Turtle Rock or having to go through Laser Bridge. So.
Yeah, that's a good T-Rock map. Red Melon half match is a good haul, but it's still not hype. I would not count that as hype. Now, if they had found flippers in Hype Cave, I would count that as hype, because we all know what that gives us.
Yeah. And it's interesting that we've been this long without the hammer, because the hammer is the key to accessing more areas in the game than pretty much any other item, save, of course, for the Moon Pearl.
Well, with how much they're going around, I'm trying to think of where this can be. I'm actually thinking that it's going to be book into desert, right side of desert will have something.
I agree.
At this point, either that or the Hera basement, or Ether tablet. They have access to Ether as well. But we actually, like, it's funny, you'd think with what we have, we'd have a lot more places to check, but we just don't. Without Titan's Mitts and Hammer, you just run out of places really, really quickly. Trying to see what Zane's gonna do.
Yeah, he doesn't have
Gonna go check the Tower of Hera basement.
Yep. He doesn't have. I was gonna say, because he doesn't have the Book of Medora, so he can't check the Ether tablet. But
so Yukisaka is making really good use of keys. I think has opened every chest in the dungeon. The only key he'll need later, as if this is required, is to go back and beat King Commissar himself.
Meanwhile, Zaen taking use of the coffee break room here. Nice little strat when those pegs that are pushed up and down by the crystal switch, if they move up while Link is standing on them, the game will attempt to push Link out of the way, but in doing so makes Link invincible. However, if you don't move, you'll just stay there and be invincible the entire time. So we have the flute, ladies and gentlemen, the flute. That is right, it is the flute. So now we know exactly where Zaen is headed. It is time to play the Hyrulean national anthem and set the goose loose.
So Hera had the Cane of Samaria and flute.
Tower of Value.
And that's just in the... Here's the issue, that really doesn't open up anything new. Without mitts, that doesn't open anything.
It's true.
Like, I think desert's the play, and that's where Yuki's going.
I agree.
Either that, or it was Ether Tablet. So there's a small key on the desert ledge.
All right, so Yukisaka is about to give us the answer to the question, where is our progression? And I mean, unless I'm missing my guess, which is possible, this old man could be wrong. But I think you're right, Karma. I think desert is one of the other places we got left.
Well, they've got 3 items that they can check here. They can also see what's on Torch, which I would check even though I couldn't get it, just to see if I needed to remember that it even existed.
Right.
So, piece of heart there. Let's see if he goes left and... Well, he may go... Okay, he is going to go left and check.
Just for the knowledge, now, I don't believe anyone has found the big key yet, so just rupees on the torch, so not boot locked.
So now we got the 2 right side chests, and then we also have the key on the ledge that could lead somewhere. Ooh, the big key for Skull.
Oh. Not necessary to complete the dungeon, but necessary to get whatever item is hiding in that chest. And we've got the mitts!
There was the missing piece of the puzzle. So the mitts will open up a couple more locations. Still not a lot, but it'll open up Jeremiah the Frog. It'll open up Purple Chest.
And Misery Mire.
Yeah, if he goes and finds flute. He doesn't have flute yet.
Right.
So once Zaen gets mitts, Mire will be open. And it may be that all of Misery Mire may be open to Zaen because he also has Cane of Samaria. I'll tell you what that does open for Yuki, though.
Yes?
Dark Death Mountain.
Very true. And because they have the hookshot, it is Hookshot Cave, plus the intel of what medallion is required to enter everyone's favorite dungeon, Turtle Rock.
So, chat's blowing up about this. Yuki got so excited about the Titan's mitts, Yuki left without grabbing the key on the desert ledge.
Ooh. You know, the interesting thing about that is it's a quick fix, but we have seen so many times throughout the multiple Link to the Past randomizer tournaments that we have all watched that sometimes a little mistake like that could be the difference between the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, for lack of a better term.
Skullwoods has not been cleared yet. The tracker is... We got a new tracker, just bear with them. They probably hit Skullwood's done instead of Skullwood's big key.
Yeah. Easy to miss on that tracker as well. But hey, look, let's be honest, folks. Tracking is a difficult job, particularly when the 2 racers you're running are in 2 different dungeons at the same time, and particularly in Keysanity when anything could happen at any time, and it's an incredibly difficult job. These guys are killing it. They are putting in a lot of work for no pay, I would like to remind you. So shout outs to our 2 trackers today. because, like I said, they are putting in the work for you. So, Hex Mage and Sabotender, they're doing a great job, and let's understand how difficult a job that is.
They don't get a lot of thanks. They don't get a lot of glory. They don't have their names posted. So, just if you can, give them a like, give them a follow. They're both actually doing a good job. One of them, this is their first tracking, so that's why I said just bear with them today.
And speaking of all that, ladies and gentlemen, we are about 1 hour into this Link to the Past Keysanity tournament race. And if you like what you're seeing today, particularly our 4 runners putting in incredible work for your entertainment today, I'd like to ask you to consider giving them a follow here on Twitch and showing your appreciation to them, as well as go ahead and follow Speed Gaming 1 through 4 here for all of your speed gaming and Link to the Past Keysanity tournament needs.
So I see chat going off about the tracker. So the tracker, they're actually using it's a bunch of buttons pretty much. So if you can imagine, every item has a button next to it, and when you click the button, it gets a square and refreshes the page up to the top. So it's not exactly what you guys are seeing, but it's like a list of items for each runner. So there's 4 different sections, 1 for each runner.
So Super Bunny.
Oh, somebody found flips. Where was flippers?
Yeah, Super Bunny Cave, ladies and gentlemen. And there's the Cheeto sword in Hookshot Cave. It has been so long since I've seen anything good in Hookshot Cave. Wow.
So I'm sure they'll find out at some point, since they found flippers, they'll do the flipper checks. But I think dawningark's still the only one who actually knows that the hammer's down there.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing any of our other runners checking the Lake Hylia Island. So, and Skull Woods map.
And for chat, Pet is dead already. I apologize. Somebody was saying Pet is alive. Pet is dead.
The dream is dead.
But this was an Aga 1 seed, so there's at least that.
So, I don't believe LoonyCloud ran over and checked Turtle Rock. Interesting. LoonyCloud finding his Canis Tamaria. What are those?
Zaen found them in Mire Shed.
Time to go fast.
We are finally finding stuff that makes sense. So, the person who, both Yuki and Loony having flippers, if they knew where Hammer was, they would rush straight to it, because that unlocks a lot of stuff.
Indeed.
That actually gives them full T-Rock access without the rods. They just need both rods, and T-Rock would be completable. Ice Palace is actually completable.
Yep.
Half Magic Bombo is actually not bad, especially with Tempered.
No. You did say Swamp, right?
Ice.
Okay. But Swamp is completable as well once they find that hammer.
No. So, the thing with Swamp and Keysanity is you have to have a small key to get inside the dungeon.
So... Yeah, nobody's found a Swamp. Found that key yet. You see what I did there?
They literally call that one the key, because that's the one you do not want to see. Yeah, so right now we're going to talk in terms of probably advantages versus leads. Again, we have two separate runs, two separate racers against each other. So you have Zaen versus Yukisaka, both of which I couldn't really tell you who's probably advantaged at the moment. Probably the boots give us slight edge. But as far as item count, they're actually narrowing down on the same. So depends on how long it takes Yuki to get over to Flute, and then get over to he's getting Flute now.
Yep.
So if he goes straight to Meyer, gets boots, they'll be pretty much even.
And Turtle Rock is the elusive ether medallion, which it's funny because we know where Bombos and Quake are.
Oh, that's actually great. That's the great news for chat too, because that's it's always bad when you look at something and you're like, oh, I have a 66% chance. Well, it didn't work.
Every seed will troll you in some way.
As far as Ice Palace goes, for those asking in chat, it's full clearable right now with no keys. You don't have to have the big key to complete the dungeon. Also, with the known bomb jumps that are not major glitches, they are all completable.
Yeah. There's one moderately difficult bomb jump, and one very difficult bomb jump, and one relatively easy bomb jump to do a full clear of Ice Palace.
Well, now Zaen knows what's on the ledge.
Yep. And we know and since he has the flute, he's got a relatively quick route to go get there as well.
Well, since given the items, he has to go to through Thieves Town portal to do it. Because remember, the only portals they have access to are Thieves Town and Agahnim, and they can't get across the bridge from Agahnim. Or actually, is there a water ledge they can jump into at Agahnim from Agahnim's portal? They can get in the top of the river, right? From pod area.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably the fastest way then. Probably Agahnim's portal to.
Zaen about to hit the waterfall cave. I don't think anybody fake flippered this. So let's see what we got. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot at all.
The Hera big key on Zorledge. Do we know that already? I don't think we know that yet. I saw somebody in chat say it.
May have just been a call. And so, alright, Zaen gonna hit Zora? Nope. I said Loony just picked it up. Okay.
Alright. This will make, what, the third dip into Tower of Hera for Loony?
Yes, it will.
I don't think I've ever seen a triple dip for Hera.
You thought you'd seen it all, and then this seed threw a new one at you.
Alright, so yeah, Looney's going up. Looney's going to go up and do Tower of Hera. Oh, Tower of Hera and Desert are confirmed as our 5-6. I just noticed Eastern's Pendant. What do we not know? We don't know whether Swamp, T-Rock, Ice, or Skull Woods. Okay. The bad part of two of those are completable just with items.
Is LoonyCloud going to take the bomb jump route here?
That's got to be the saddest purple lunchbox ever. He got a compass.
So why was Loony he has the hook shot. Do you know why he was trying to do the bomb jump to the big chest in Hera?
Not sure. Well, actually, okay. I think He doesn't have boots yet. Yeah, he doesn't have boots. That's why. So he's trying to do the bomb jump because it propels you over the little stars.
Okay.
So it doesn't transition the path, so you can just walk back off.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to answer a question in the chat, PED is not needed. It's just a Ice Palace big key. Or Ice Palace key.
Oh, but he keeps falling. Now this is a huge time sink. At this point, you know, I would probably just go up and do the normal routing for the big chest.
Yeah. Yuki definitely happy. He has his Air Jordans. Time to go fast. And we got a big key on the library. Whose is it? It is...
Pod. So I assume that both Zaen and Yuki are fairly similar in how close they are to each other. Zaen might be like maybe 20, 30 seconds ahead, give or take. But they've mostly checked the same things.
Right. As Zaen is about to get terribly disappointed by what he finds in the purple chest.
That key that was on the library ledge.
And after the multiple falls and all of that work getting to that big chest in Tower of Hera, it is a whopping rupee drop.
So chat's trying to figure out the logic. But yeah, so logic in this game can be insane. There can be some convoluted setups. Booked amidst the boots big key is actually not that bad of a logic sequence. If you keep going forwards and back from just what you know on that, like from where book was and everything, you'll find the full logic for the seed.
Yep.
And it all started with the first chest having lantern. Or from Uncle having a lantern.
Yeah. So Yuki is, I don't know what Yuki's doing here.
Alright, so Looney finished up Hera. I don't think there was anything really else of import in Hera.
So Yuki looks like he's heading to ice?
Well, no, Yuki's doing all the flipper checks. So now Yuki knows what's there.
That's right. He hasn't checked it yet. That's right.
Yeah. Zaen has picked up hammer. So Zaen has the hammer.
Hammer time.
Actually, would probably, yeah, he's going to go straight into ice. This is what I would do.
Absolutely. You're right there. You know you can complete it.
Also, we'll give you information. We'll give you items.
Yep. So do it. Do it now.
So what else could possibly be needed for this run? We know we probably need fire rod.
Ice rod.
Is possible. It's not technically required yet. We still don't know.
Right.
We still technically don't know if fire rods. Oh, now we do. We know. Skullwoods is a pendant. T-Rock's a crystal. Swamp Palace and Ice Palace are both crystals.
So we're gonna need fire and ice rod then.
So we're missing fire and ice rod from item and ether from item go mode.
Yep.
And then we're missing a lot of keys, including the elusive GT big key.
And it's also possible that powder is required or mushroom, depending on where one of those required items is.
Now here, Chad, I'll give you guys something to droll over. The most trolly thing we can have happen left is if they get into GT, they find a pendant big key, and that big key chest has the GT big key in it.
GT big key in it, yeah.
That's about the trolliest thing we have left that can happen. So if you want to troll, hope that that GT big key is locked by something that's in the tower itself.
That's so evil. I love it.
Well, it's like somebody saying GT tile key for, or tower room for the big key is max troll. That's not max troll in Keysanity.
No.
Imagine having to double dip GT. That can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ice Palace would be a bad one, or Swamp would be a bad one.
Yep.
Swamp, big key chest having it.
Looks like Looney is going to do the same thing as Zaen, going to head directly into Ice Palace. Again, I mean, that seems like the obvious choice. You're right there.
Yeah, we actually have dawningarks in.
Desert Palace Big Key in King's Tomb.
So this will pay off if Meyer has something that's required.
So Meyer is a pendant, so not 100% required, but
we know unless something's on Vitreous, it is not needed to be finished. With the knowledge we have, because PED's not required.
Right.
But here's what's funny: there very well could be something on Vitreous, because technically, if you want to look at logically, PED is required.
True.
But we're never logical. I mean, our runners aren't logical, so.
Their ability to sequence break means that turns this from a pedestal required seed to a non-pedestal required seed. Where did we... Zaen found the fire rod? Yes, he did. Gosh, this is so complicated. But huge hype there. Fire rod makes Skullwoods completable and is one of the items we need to go finish everyone's favorite dungeon, Turtle Rock. So incredible find there from Zaen. And oh my god, I never knew you could move those blocks in that last room Zaen was in. I cannot believe that I've been playing this game for almost 30 years and I never knew that. Oh wow, I feel stupid.
I mean, you can learn something every day about this game. I watched yesterday I watched somebody do all of GT with no hook shot.
I have heard that is possible.
They bonked and bomb jumped their way completely through GT. It was amazing.
And then hovered on Troll Dorm 2?
Oh, they sadly didn't know how to hover, so they ended up still having to go find hookshot.
Okay. Zaen, so interesting thing about these custom sprites is that they are different heights than the original Link sprite. So depending on how you line yourself up for these bomb jumps, the different size sprites can kind of troll you a bit.
I've noticed a lot of their heights are similar, depending on which one it is. Their widths are different. So lining yourself up on the backmost pixel sometimes a little harder.
Yeah.
But I noticed a lot of it, like especially when you're doing the bomb yump, and that's probably or the hammer yump. That's probably one of the harder ones.
Sure.
There's two ways to line it up. You can line it up by your shadow, which is probably the easiest universal way, or you can line it up by the top of your head,
which is the way I've always done it, and that's why it messes me up.
But that's why I use the Will sprite. The Will sprite has the same height as the default Link sprite.
Alright, so Fire Rod has been found in Ice Palace. So Ice Palace, regardless, I mean, we know it's a crystal, but regardless of whether it was, we knew Ice Palace is going to be required now because Fire Rod is going to be required. But we still have that darn trolly Ice Rod, and regardless of the type of game you're playing, the only place Ice Rod can't be is Trinex or later. Trinex or Ganon's Tower. So it can literally be anywhere else.
Ice Rod is definitely the trolliest item left. So he has Desert Palace Big Key and Tower of Her Big Key. He can do both 5/6 crystals, and then go straight and get Fat Fairy if he wanted to. Oh, he forgot the key. Sometimes when you go too fast, you forget little things.
Yeah, nice cold stare kill there by Zaen. Very nicely done.
That's another crystal down for Zaen. And I think it was just a heart container. I don't think he got too much out of ice besides fire rod. That's still a big find. There's really not too much more the runners besides requirements they would want. They already have tempered, which is usually what most people are comfortable with going into Ganon. And then they don't have silvers yet, though. So silvers is also something that could be interesting. Do all 4 players know silverless?
I can't imagine they wouldn't. Yes, I believe Bombo's tablet has been checked. Actually, it's being checked right now. And yes, it was just a big 20.
Alright, so that's been checked. Ether's been checked and tablet's been checked. So the only thing Book was needed for was to open Desert up. And get mitts early on.
So we are currently in a situation now where we need the key for Swamp Palace. We got all the keys we probably need for Ganon's Tower.
We need the big key for it.
Yep.
We also need the... Technically, you're supposed to have one more T-Rock small key. Not required, but if they do the steal and the vanilla big key chest has an item in it, it just runs really bad for them. It's a risk most runners are willing to take, though.
Right. Zaen heading back up to Death Mountain. Is he going to check Spike?
He's probably going to do Tower of Hera.
Again.
Yeah, I think this will be his double dip into Hera. This is actually...
to Hera.
Yeah, this is actually good, though, because this is pretty early to have full knowledge on the seed.
True.
I say that, and we're an hour and 20-something minutes in, but... average Keysanity time is between 2 and 2.5 hours.
Zaen will finally take out the Troll Dorm itself, now that he has the big key. And Yukisaka. Yeah, so Yukisaka should be able to finish Pod here. And says, nope, I don't have enough time to line up that hammer yump, so we're going to try again.
Looks like he was a pixel low.
Oh.
So it's a very precise pixel. If you're a pixel too low, you'll actually still clip the railing, but you'll slide right off, even if you hold up.
And the reason he's doing this is to obviate the need for one key. So he has 5. There are 6 keys in Pod. Logically, you're supposed to find all 6 of them to do a full clear. But Yukisaka is going to bypass one of those. And no. Third time was not a charm. And Troll Dorm only dropping the compass to Skull Woods. But more importantly, dropping a crystal.
And it was just a heart container. For anybody, the hammer jump, that is a very, 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 very hard jump. Just because it's so pixel specific on both the bomb placement and on your character sprite placement.
And the fact that you're time limited because the floor is falling out from underneath you.
I actually like going all the way to the back of the room and coming in from the back side. It feels like it gives me a little more time.
Just some love in Spike Cave from Zaen.
Yeah, when I was learning the hammer yump, I would go in from the where the Helmosaur room is in the back, because you can do it from either side.
All right, so dawningark, I think, is our first one to take out Landmalas, and he gets a pod key. Okay, he's not the first one to take out Landmalas, but the first one that I saw. So just a pod key. Gotta feel gypped when Mothula only drops a big 20. Man. We're in another slump of progression here.
So I think you would probably agree. I think LoonyCloud is currently definitely advantaged in the bottom race.
I believe you are correct. Yes, sir.
With Ark not having flippers yet. The top race is a little harder to tell.
It's exactly what I was about to say. It is... Yeah, I don't know, because you look at it, Yuki does not have Fire Rod. Zaen does. But I think as Yuki is now going ahead a much longer dungeon. I don't recall how much of Pod Zaen has already been through. And, oh wow, Helmosaur King drops the map for Tower of Hera. Little late for that.
Well, I mean, Yuki hasn't went up there yet. Maybe Yuki doesn't know what 5, 6 are yet. We have perfect knowledge of the dungeons, but all the runners may not.
True.
Like, he's checking it. Yeah, he just checked it. Now he's going to go up there because he just was like, oh, it's the other 5, 6.
Yeah. But obviously he'd already been up there twice because he'd gotten his Cane of Samaria and his flute. Alright, Loony getting the go fast shoes. Just some rupees there in the big chest in desert. But
talking about going fast.
Yeah.
The spin speed for the win.
Great tricks. It's very useful in quite a few locations, actually.
Yeah, I haven't learned how to do it well enough to do it off of all the small stairs and stuff. I mean, I can do it on most stairs, but I haven't got used to it yet, especially doing it like all the time.
Yeah, it seems like just when you think you've got it and you get it like 10 times in a row, then you can't do it for another 10 times. Alright, so still on the hunt for the elusive Ice Rod and the Ether Medallion.
And the Swamp Palace Small Key and the GT Big Key. We've got 4 items from No Mode, as chat was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So we're not far away.
Unless, of course, the seed decides to troll us and lock one of those items behind, say, powder or mushroom.
That is true. That is something that can happen.
But no one has gone too thick fairy yet, so you mentioned that earlier that I can't remember which one of our runners has both of those. But we definitely have that as an option as well.
Yeah, so Fat Fairy check should be incoming for Yuki. And for, I would assume Zaen pretty soon too, but Zane's going to go up and finish up Pod. Yuki might actually go straight to...
And Zaen heading back over to pod. Yuki having a little bit of trouble with the troll dorm there, but makes the save.
And dawningark, the first to know that hammer was there, is the last to get it. I would assume at an hour and a half in, he probably feels a little behind just getting the hammer. He does already have a lot of the items, though. He has already finished with desert as well.
Very interesting.
And he might not make the play on Skullwoods like Loony did, which could save him some time.
Yes, as we know, Skullwood's just a pendant, and there is nothing on Mothula, just a big 20. So, but the question is, I mean, as much as Skullwoods has the reputation as being value woods, sometimes you're like, can I afford to skip it?
It's a gamble. I mean, if you know it's a pendant, you can put it off. It just depends on where the player's knowledge is. We don't know what knowledge each one of them individually has. We, as a collective, have all the knowledge.
Right. We see Zaen using multiple menu opens and closes there. He's using that to line himself up properly for the hammer yump. Beautiful.
And again, we have people in chat asking if you want to know how to get into Randomizer. There is the website for ALTTP Randomizer. If you go there, there is a resources page that will tell you how to get set up, how to get started, with all the useful links and stuff to follow. Whether you want to just run it casually, seeds, or if you want to get into SRL racing like you're watching here. And by the way, it's not all this competitive. This is just a tournament. There's always casual races going on all the time with all skill groups welcome.
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that this has consistently been one of the most friendly and welcoming communities that I've ever been a part of on the internet. And it's particularly newbie friendly.
It is. People are willing to teach you stuff. I remember my very first race. It took me almost 4 hours to complete. I ain't gonna lie, but it was an insurance randomizer. I don't know why I picked that as my first one. But one of the guys, the one who finished first, he finished probably at like an hour and 50 minutes. He sat there and watched the entire stream from an hour and 50 to 4 hours and just helped me whenever I needed help.
Yep. You did better than me. My first run was a standard, and it took me nearly 6 hours. Of course, it was also the first time I'd played Link to the Past in about 15 years, so...
And a lot of this is a learning curve. If you start playing, you'll learn, you know, a lot of the boss fights are the first thing you'll learn. Once you get good at basic execution, then you can start, like, bomb jumps and different little quicker techniques that help out. But overall, this is actually something really fun to run. I find it greatly amusing. If you like the base game, you'll love Randomizer.
We got sub hype in the chat right now. Thanks to Cuesta for working for the subscription. 4 months in a row. Subs are great, but resubs are even better.
Thank you, Questfer. Questfer is another one of the runners that we have in our casual community. I believe he's also in the race, the tournament as well.
Yep. Right, so we are still, after all this time, after all of these dungeons that have been completed, we're still not even in no mode.
Yeah, we are not. We're still a bit away from no mode, actually.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go technical with it, we're still missing the last T-Rock small key, too.
It's true.
And see, Yuki's doing ice. Zaen is gambling on the very first chest of swamp. No, no,
Hey.
he's probably doing Fat Fairy.
And we know that Fat Fairy was not a whole lot of anything.
That's some. Oh, did Yuki already check it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, there was this thing that happened in V26 or 27, can't remember. I think it might have been 26, where Swamp and Keysanity had a 10% chance on every seed of the small key being vanilla in that very first chest you could get to. Now they've fixed that since. It's more random now, but it would be funny if it went back to that spot, because it's literally the last place you'd think to check for it.
And again, as we check more and more locations and we find less and less items that are helping us out, the more it seems to point you toward that particular location. Big ol' nothing up at Thick Ferry. Yukisaka is treading over territory that Zaen has already completed there with Ice Palace as well as LoonyCloud. So we know he's at least going to find the fire rod there, but not much else. So yeah, the more this happens, the more it looks like as soon as we find that pesky ether medallion, Ice Rod may in fact be in its normal home of Turtle Rock.
Has anyone mathed how likely a fully vanilla run in Randomizer would be?
Do 216 factorial, then take out all of the non-completable seeds, and then divide that by 1.
Very, very, very small number.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm an old man and it's late. Take 1 over that number.
And for Chief, the seed might look confusing, but there is a logic to it. Right now, we're just looking for the last piece of the puzzle, whatever it may be. It's more than likely going to be Ether Medallion, we just don't know where it's at yet. I'm trying to think of what's not been checked.
I know, we haven't been into Turtle Rock, we've been into Misery Mire, we've been into Eastern Palace, Pod has been completed. Could be a lot of stuff sitting in Swamp, we don't have Mimic Cave.
I'm beginning to agree with chat. I actually think that the first chest of Swamp might have something.
Yeah, obviously, Sabatender, one of our trackers, said, hey, since no one's cleared Eastern yet, you also have something on Armos nights. So.
Well, they haven't found the big key for Eastern yet either.
True.
So Armos is not completable yet. Vanilla Swamp Small Key is possible. It doesn't happen as much in this version of the Randomizer, but I'm sure it's still a possibility. So it's very, very possible that they could walk into the front door swamp and have full access to the dungeon within 2 seconds.
Yep. So still waiting on that key. Man.
Oh, that is true, isn't it? They have
gosh,
Hammer,
yeah.
and they found the Thieves Town Small Key.
Shoutouts to Kopiwan 342. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, that one darn chest sitting in the bottom of Steve's Town. That would be trolly.
You're fine, Saba. You're fine. No more of a brain fart than we've been having.
Yeah, absolutely. You try and keep track of all this at once. Not easy.
I believe that's pretty much we're running down to those two locations, though.
Yeah.
You either have to enter Swamp or you have to go back into Thieves.
And I believe, was it Yuki that checked the first chest in Swamp, and it was a green rupee?
Oh, somebody already checked it?
Yeah.
If someone already checked it, that means it is Thieves Town big key or big chest. But I didn't know anybody had checked it yet.
Yeah. Zaen checked it. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right too. Starlord pointed out nobody's checked Peg Cave either.
Oh, because they got such a late since they got such a late hammer.
Yeah.
All right, so we got two locations for progression.
Yeah.
Which at this point is ether, pretty much.
Fat Dog says yawning is contagious. Mute yourself. Sorry, I was in the middle of speaking there. Couldn't do it. Gonna cause 800 other yawns. Well, maybe that was my goal all along, Fat Dog. You're right. So, Zaen moving through Misery Mire, and as we know, not going to be helped there because we don't have the big key for Misery Mire yet. Yeah, some frustration slashes, it looks like, from Yukisaka there. Trying to figure out, okay, where in the heck do I need to go from here? Hey, shout-outs there to Chaotic Boy. Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. And Maddie T, thank you for the bits.
My brain's just racking over what the seed wants them to do.
Yeah.
Looks like Zaen might be doing the Thieves Town. I mean, if he's already checked the swamp chest, then this is literally his last location. Or not. What's he gonna go check? Oh, he's gonna go beat Skullwoods.
Yeah, he hasn't beaten Skullwoods yet. He's gonna be terribly disappointed.
Yeah, especially knowing that he doesn't need the pendant for anything.
Yeah.
Looney's opening up the portal, but can't open T-Rock.
Xenix, thank you for the sub with Twitch Prime. Man, might be time for this old man to go to bed here soon. Heck, I gotta stay up and figure out where in the heck Ice Rod, Ether, and GT Big Key are.
Well, I think you're right. I think at this point we're looking for Ether, and Ice Rod's going to be in T-Rock or Mimic Cave.
I believe so as well.
Logically, that makes sense. Now, the GT Big Key, that's another matter. And the Swamp Palace Small Key is another matter. Swamp Palace Small Key is got to be probably in T-Rock as well.
All roads lead to Laser Bridge.
And that just leaves the GT Big Key. So the GT Big Key can be vanilla in its own dungeon. Or we can get something like, say, the Swamp Palace Big Key, or the Eastern Palace Big Key, or the Misery Mire Big Key. And one of those could be locking the GT Big Key.
Hey, Zat3, thank you for the subscription for 2 months in a row. We appreciate that here at Speed Gaming. Thank you very much.
Chad is asking, when they find Ice Rod, can you do your thing for Ice Rod?
There's only one item I do my thing for, guys, and I've already done it. You can't. I don't do two in one game. Just don't do it unless it's the last match of the tournament.
Hopefully, you'll get to commentate that one.
We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. It's okay, Ryu. I hope so. I can't overdo it. Then people get bored of it. So you can't overdo it.
So between all four of these runners, when this when both these races end, we'll have 4 different records. Or no, 3 different records. 2 of them will be 1-1, 1 will be 2-0, and 1 will be 0-2.
The maths. I'm a lawyer because I can't do math. Alright, so we got... But Loony, you were doing pegs, and then you said, no, I'm done with pegs. Why?
Pegs was nothing. It was a piece of heart. So it has to be Thieves Town Big Chest.
I think you're right. Looks like that may be where Zaen is headed.
That's super trolly, but it almost has to be.
I think it pretty much has to be Ether.
He's going to go hammer pegs first.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, Jeff pointing out, one of those could be powder or mushroom, right? So
mean,
powder leading to ether. Right,
but all roads lead to ether, pretty much.
Yeah, and probably a treasure trove in Turtle Rock.
I mean, the other Charlie thing we can have happen is they go and get the big chest in Thieves Town, and it's daggone like the big key for Eastern, and they have to go clear Eastern for whatever they need. But either way, the big chest has to be something at this point, I'm pretty sure. I think this is literally the last location that's unknown.
And here goes Zaen. I'm gonna find out what that item is. It's either ether or a fetch.
I'm pretty sure this is the last unknown location. It's not 100% certain, but if everybody's saying he checked Swamp Palace, which I missed, but I mean, if everybody's saying he checked it, then I can't think of anywhere else.
Alright, hit the crystal switch, then on down to the basement. Moment of truth incoming. And Yuki looks like he's gonna hit pegs and then be right behind Zaen as far as checking Thieves Town chest.
Yeah, those two are super close to each other. Like I said, I think Zane's probably like 30 seconds to a minute ahead. But that's not really that big of a lead. No. There's Ether.
Ding 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 ding. And you gotta think Zaen is headed straight to Troc.
Oh, he is. He's gonna go straight to T-Rock. He's gonna flute, missed it. There we go, flute. Straight to 1. Oh no, he's going somewhere else first. What else is Ether open?
Je ne sais pas.
I'm trying to figure out where he's going.
Je suis confused. Is he checking Bombo's tablet?
Possibly. Yeah, it looks like he's checking Bombo's. Just to be sure before he heads up. I don't mind that. If he hasn't checked it yet, that's not a bad play. You want to be sure before you go into T-Rock that that's literally where Ice Rod's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's the last thing. I mean, a lot of times you end up taking that gamble because the Ice Rod is so often in Turtle Rock. But it's always in the back of your mind. What if it's not?
Yeah, you don't want to double dip, so you want to try to avoid the double dip. And that's all he was trying to do.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure he realized at this point that he has nowhere else left to check. He's checked everything. He's got to go to T-Rock. Ice Rod and Swamp Palace Smokey have to be in T-Rock. Well, actually, no. Ooh. Swamp Palace Smokey has to be in T-Rock.
Right. And
Ice Rod could be in... Ice Rod could be in Swamp.
Absolutely. Any Ice Rod and Ice Rod and Ganon's Tower Big Key could be there. So
So here's the funny part. You do not have the 4th Tower or Turtle Rock big key or small key. Do you risk skipping that one chest?
Absolutely not.
But if you don't skip that one chest, you don't have enough keys to get to Trinex.
Watch that key be in Mimic Cave.
It's possible. It's possible we'll have a vanilla T-Rock key anyways. But, I mean, just what if? Like, that's another thing that's always at the back of your mind.
What if Eastern Palace big key to green pendant to ice rod?
That's a possibility. I mean, we still have a lot of possibilities, Chad.
Oh, man.
We still have a lot of troll possibilities.
Radagast 1981, get out of my head, man.
Yuki's going into Meyer first. I mean, I don't hate it. I wish he would just get Meyer and went to T-Rock, though, because he really needs the catch-up time.
Yep.
And we know Meyer has literally nothing.
Yep.
But again, that's our knowledge, not what the runners know. If he knew there was nothing, he definitely wouldn't come in here.
Alright, so this decision by Zaen here to well,
this is his only decision left.
Yeah. But the decision by Yuki to go into Meyer here, like you mentioned earlier, we know that there's nothing here in Meyer. This could be key. We could be seeing the beginning of the end here for our upper race.
Wait, did Zaen go right side first or just skip right side?
He skipped right side.
Huh? There's Ice Rod. Doesn't even matter.
Nice rod.
Well, the only way that'll matter, what if GT Big Key's over there on that right side? Unless he gets it after he beats it, which is some interesting routing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just hit right side and mirror back to the front if you're really worried about a time loss. Huh. I'm always interested on why people route in certain ways. That might be something we want to ask him in the interview.
That's something you'll ask him in the interview. I am about to tag out here. But also skipping the vanilla big key chest.
Well, that's the one he has to skip to have enough keys to get to Trinex.
That's true, yeah.
He has to steal the key and go forward, which is what he's doing. So he's playing this for that and right side not having the GT big key or swamp small key.
All right, is he going to check Mimic? Yes,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to check these. Like I said, I'm sure if he doesn't find what he's probably going to go right back into and do right side.
All right, just $50 there. It would be so choice if Ganon's Tower big key was dropped by Trinex.
I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but we still have to find the Swamp Palace small key. And it has to be somewhere in the T-Rock.
That's true. Because
that one cannot be in GT. And we have nothing left to open up unless it's a fetch quest item.
Yo, I heard you like fetch quests. And the compass that nobody cares about. Nothing much else to do while you're just riding the platforms there in the dark room in Turtle Rock. Just some frustration swipes, I'm sure. This hasn't been...
Uncle Ulti actually asked a really good question. So in this version of the randomizer, that is actually possible logic. A key can lock itself for a dungeon.
Yes.
So for instance, the Thieves Town Big Chest can actually have the small key inside of it.
Yep.
And especially in open mode. Now that won't happen near as bad. And there's the small key to Swamp. It was on Laser Bridge.
As the answer is always Laser Bridge, ladies and gentlemen.
Now in Keysanity, that's probably not going to happen nowhere near as often, but it's logic for both Keysanity and open mode, I believe.
Alright, time to take out Trinex here. Now, Zaen is an accomplished NMG runner, so this should be... Let's see if he goes for the... Yep, here we go.
And I know it's a 100% possibility in open mode, like, of keys locking themselves. I don't know about Keysanity what the percentage odds are, or if it's even technically possible in Keysanity. I just know it is possible in the logic for version 29 open mode.
Beautiful Trinex kill there by Zaen.
So Math Girl's asking why wouldn't that create a soft lock? Because if the key is in a chest locked by a key, then you don't need that key to get to the chest.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly what Runner Watcher said. Either you don't open the door and you don't waste the key, or you get the key by spending the key.
Yep.
Yeah, he is checking right side. Wants to make sure it got the riot shield. So here's what's going to be funny. So it stole the key, right? To get to Trinex. What if Vanilla Big Key Chest has GT's Big Key?
We'll see if Yukisaka does the same thing here. I think he has to, but...
Now, logically, what that means is that the last T-Rock key is going to be in Swamp. Which means that the logic wanted them to go all the way to the end of T-Rock, come do Swamp, and then go back and finish T-Rock.
So trolly.
Yeah, if you follow the logic of the seed, the logic's insane.
Yeah.
Like, the logic will have you do things that you didn't... it's just like, okay.
There's a reason why I never played a Keysanity seed.
They're fun. You don't think about the logic that in-depth when you're playing, but it's commentating and watching the whole race unfold. It's a little easier to follow the string. When you're playing, you're just like, oh, I got this item, I'm going here. You don't think about the whole trail that's led there.
Yeah. Question in the chat, they're go mode now, right? Nope.
No, we're still missing GT Big Key.
Yup.
We are one key away from go mode on Zaen only. There's the small key to Turtle Rock.
Oh man, I think you're right. Then I think yeah.
Well, just logically, that was needed to complete Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock was not completable by logic until right there. So they had to go all the way to Laser Bridge by logic, and then come out, go into Swamp Palace, and get the last key. Oh, that's great.
So crazy. So crazy.
I mean, if it's in that chest chat, I mean, it just punishes them for doing skips. That's all it does. It's a time sink because they decided to skip. But either way, it's not that much different of a time sink. Because think about it. They skipped the chest to go do Trinex, right? If they didn't do that and it's in that chest, then they would still have to go back and do try next anyways, which means a full run of the dungeon instead of a half run on the redip.
All right, here we are. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Never mind. I thought Looney was checking the vanilla big key chest. He is not. So.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will. Like, not on the first trip. They'll only check it if they have to come back, which they'll only have to come back if it's not in the rest of Swamp. Like you're seeing, Zaen has to check left side Swamp. He has no choice. He can't risk it being over there.
Oh, wait a minute, hang on. I just thought of something. They don't have the Swamp Palace big key yet, do they?
No, they do not. They also don't have Meyer or Eastern.
Yeah, so Ganon's Tower, big key in the big chest in Swamp, but the Swamp big key back in Turtle Rock, where the at the big key chest.
That's possible. Or put the Swamp Palace big key in Tile Room in GT.
Yeah. Yeah, Meyer big key was on Laser Bridge.
Okay, so they do have Meyer big key. So that's another possibility. That's 2 more locations the GT big key can be.
How about Dishundo, though?
I mean, we can still have crazy stuff happen. I mean, this is not over.
Even though we're only waiting on one item. Since that is Ganon's Tower big key, there's still 22 chests in Ganon's Tower.
No. Silver Arrows, left side Swamp.
Oh.
So that's a nice find. That makes you feel a little comfortable.
Yeah. I mean,
but it doesn't make you feel good.
Right. Yeah, we have Flaming Cheeto Sword, so Silverless is not terribly problematic, but still much better, not only for Ganon himself, but also for making it through Ganon's Tower.
This is super interesting, though. Like, I'm curious where this GT Big Key is going to end up. We might be playing a guessing game here in a little bit, chat.
It could be.
You don't get to do it in Keysanity. Usually you don't. Usually you have it before you enter the tower. But if we start going to the tower and we do not have it, we'll open up the guessing game. Where you have 22 possible locations plus 0. Where 0 means it's not in GT at all. We did that the other night. Everybody wanted it to be 0 so bad. I think it ended up being 14. It actually, GT Big Key ends up in GT quite a bit. And I think it's just because of how locked there's Mushroom. Okay.
Well, as a fetch quest, that's not particularly trolly since you can flute directly to the witches. But
hey, we're not guessing game yet, chat. We're not guessing game yet. We got to make sure it's not on Argus. And we got to make sure that he doesn't go. He goes up to GT. If he goes up to GT right after this, then it's guessing game. Oh wow.
Oh, that Argus fight.
Is he just canceling the sword slash animation?
With the dash.
That's what's happening?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen that, actually. I don't get to watch too many runs back, but that was beautiful. It didn't even look like he was slashing.
Yep. That is a high level NMG strat. That is insanely tough.
I mean, my gosh, I think that's the fastest Argus I've ever seen.
Yep. And it wasn't as fast as it possibly could have been.
Yeah, somebody said he just missed the 0 cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got some slippery floor for Yuki. Okay, so he is going to take the risk. So now, chat, you can do the guessing game. Which I'm actually surprised by this. He has flute. I'm surprised he didn't go check mushroom real quick. I would have gambled mushroom first since it's a really, really fast check.
Did anybody start it? Use the start command? Or is the bot not been modified for the 0 to 22?
Oh, it's probably not modified for 0.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I don't even know. I didn't even know we had a command in chat.
Yeah, that's a little late now.
Yeah, I just let him guess. Yeah, we can't officially do the game, but since nobody has Big Key and they're going up to GT, we still let chat guess. I mean, it could be in Ganon's tower, but possibly, like we said, we add 0 in there. Oh, he's going back in to check the one chest in T-Rock.
I can't say that's a bad play since Turtle Rock is so close to Ganon's tower.
That just makes me more confused why he didn't do mushroom real quick though.
It's a fair point. Oh, he also didn't do right side earlier. Remember?
No, he did go back in and do right side, didn't he?
Clearly not.
Okay, he has riot shield, right?
No.
No, okay. Yeah, because riot shield was over there.
Right.
Okay, if he didn't check 3 chests, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Now will he go check vanilla? Nope. Okay. He's piecing out on the vanilla big key chest.
The plot thickens.
Yep. So the chests, we do not know what's in them. We don't know what's in Eastern Palace, Big Key, or Armos. We don't know what's in Misery Mire, Big Key, or Vitreous. We don't know what's Green Pendant item. And we don't know what's in the vanilla Big Key chest in Turtle Rock. Those are the only locations outside of GT that we do not know.
All right, on into Ganon's tower. So, Karma, we had the chat go ahead and guess. So it's now time for the commentators to guess. Where do you think the big key is going to be, 0 through 22?
Well, there's Butter Sword. I think it's going to be one of the 3 chests in Ice Armos.
I always say chest number 13, so number 13.
I think I don't know what count. It depends on which way he goes, but I think it's gonna be one of the chests in Ice Armos. I've seen GT Big Key in GT enough that I just believe it's gonna be here. I don't think the seed's gonna troll them that bad. Now, if it does, I'll eat my word.
Guaranteed. I was about to say you've just guaranteed that it will.
Well, chat will be happy with me if that happens.
Sure.
Runners won't be, but chat will be.
And nothing doing so far? No.
Okay, he's gonna go steal this key, and then he's not gonna go do Ice Armos first. That's why I said it really depended, because he could have went straight to Ice Armos here. But he's gonna go left side first.
Yep.
Which, I mean, is what most runners do, because that's most times, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Unless that's Eastern, that's gotta be it. Oh, Swamp Palace.
It's swamps.
Oh, shit. That's crazy. That's another location. That could be the hype we want. That could be the hype chat wants, but not what the runners need. I thought for sure that would be it, honestly.
Mais non.
That's the biggest troll I think ever right there. Seeing a big key on the torch, getting it, and it being for a dungeon you do not want to go.
That was great. Still nothing. So what if it is in that darn Swamp Palace big chest?
Yes, Chad. I apologize. I could have said something worse, but I apologize. That was just what my mind. If I was in that race, that's what I would have thought right there.
Put a
You got
buck
a clear
in the
thought in my
swear
mind.
jar.
Forever Psychotic, also the 2 in Eastern.
Yeah.
Those are the locations outside of outside of GT right now. And he's running out quick of possibilities. He's got 4 chests here, 3 in Ice Armos, and the Bob Fairy chest, and Tile Room.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. That's it.
Yep.
Rando Room. Oh, and there's the Eastern Palace key.
Palace. All right, well, finally, at 2 hours, 10 minutes, Zaen is the first runner to reach go mode.
All right, so Zane's got a significant lead. I mean, technically, if he's going back inside, what does he have? Oh, he didn't check left side swamp. He'll get silvers and be happy about that, but Yuki really needed to just jump straight up to GT.
But remember, ladies and gentlemen, that these are 2 independent races going on at once. So, although it looks like almost assuredly Zaen is going to win his race up on top, the bottom 2 runners, dawningark and LoonyCloud, are only competing against each other. So, at this point, looks like LoonyCloud has a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, he's a dungeon ahead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he's already cleared it, I believe. He's just going back in for the left side. So he's having a pretty smooth gauntlet. I doubt that. I think this is beyond the turning point where Yuki is going to be able to catch Zaen unless something tragic happens, which we don't wish on any runner.
No. And remember, Zaen does run NMG, so he's going to be very well practiced at Ganon's Tower, with the added bonus that he has the butter sword, which you normally will not have in an NMG run.
He has butter, he has riot shield, and he has red mail.
Yeah.
And silvers. He's good.
Yeah, he's gonna be just fine. And 17 hearts.
I mean, he's working with 4 right now, but I'm sure he's used to about that much for a normal run.
Yeah. Not terribly concerned about Zane's well-being here. So the question in the chat, what does NMG stand for? It stands for No Major Glitches, which is the category for the run of the vanilla, aka unrandomized version of this game. So when you run the unrandomized version, it is all about execution. So the people who are better at the NMG run of the game will have an advantage in the execution department, but not necessarily an advantage in the decision-making and routing department.
Pretty much what he's telling you is that you can beat someone better in rando just out of pure luck.
Oh, yeah.
The lawyer speak. We'll see, routing, so I agree, routing in open mode is super important. Routing in Keysanity, though, when there's several different routes, comes down to luck of which one you choose. Because sometimes there isn't one clear route in Keysanity. We've seen that multiple times throughout this seed. They've had multiple different paths they could take, none of which are wrong. It's just one of them leads to a better set of items.
Well, we get a bottle with blue goo in the validation chest. So I guess Zane's probably glad he opened that. Of course, he's got 13 free hearts into the final 2 fights of the game. Probably not even gonna need it. Not the best lineup here, but oh, almost got the triple.
He bonked. He got close. Oh, blue balls.
But still salvages one.
Who? Blue balls again? Ow. There he goes.
Very nice.
I got 2 down.
And so we have a NMG runner that's going to fight Ganon with Butter Sword, 12 hearts, and silver arrows.
And red mail, which means he can just tank the boss.
Hey, face tanking.
You know, I think Riot Shield can I think Riot Shield, if it can't. I've never had Riot Shield in this fight, and I've never wanted to try. I think it should be able to block the spear, though.
Yeah, that trident's a bit OP.
You should be able to reflect the trident back at him with the Riot Shield, but only during that first phase.
This should be relatively academic, although I will say that even the best runners, every now and then, can take a fall on Ganon.
Oh yeah, if you're holding a directional input and get hit by a fire bat at the wrong time, you can get launched all the way across the screen. It's ridiculous, actually, how far it can launch you.
Yeah.
I think I've seen somebody like 4 tiles towards the middle of the room get launched off the edge. Like that right there. If he was holding a directional input, that could have been a fall. Yeah, we'll give you his official time once he kills Ganon and he goes through the door. And then we'll see if he wants to come in for an interview.
And that will do it. As soon as Zaen enters that chamber, we'll be able to give you the official SRL time. But congratulations to Zaen. He moves on 2-0 with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 17 minutes, 30 seconds. Again, GG's to Zaen. Yes, that's right, Seed. You should be saying, I'm sorry. I know it's going to go on, but the Seed should be saying, I'm sorry anyway. So do remember that dawningark and LoonyCloud are still in a race. Obviously, it looks pretty clear who's going to pick that one up. But ladies and gentlemen, I am going to congratulate Zaen, and then I'm going to have to bow out. I have to be up in about 3.5 hours. But thanks so much. It's great to be back commentating yet another tournament race. Haven't done one in a while, but IB Karma, thanks for carrying me through that one and helping me out, teaching me a little bit about Keysanity on the way.
Not a problem. It's been a pleasure having you. Zaen did say he was going to come in, so he should be in momentarily.
I do love all of the randomized names.
GG, Zaen.
War das Seed. I'm not sure that's my route or something, or was the Seed? It was really horrible. Nothing really worked out.
Yeah, it was you had, as we were calling that match, Zaen, we had some times like, oh wow, we got a lot of items, and then we said, oh gosh, when is our next progression going to be? Then you found an item or two, and then we had another drought. So that seemed to have like ups and downs. But Zaen, congratulations on your victory, sir. I'm going to bow out and let you and IB Karma take over from here. But I just wanted to stay in and say GG's to you, sir, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Everybody give Phantom Ryu a follow. I'm sure you guys already do, as chat loves Phantom Ryu.
It's good to be loved. Thanks, guys. But it's not about me. It's about these runners. So make sure you give them the follow before you give me one.
All right, Zaen. So a pretty crazy seed, all in all. It was pretty much 100% seed. I think all 4 of you pretty much 100% the whole thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Like, we found nothing at the beginning. We got the hook shot early on, but that's about it. Nothing else really progression item-wise.
Yeah, so the most interesting thing to me, and probably the thing that probably scared you a little bit, the big key on the torch in GT.
I was just hoping it was the GT key, but it wasn't. It was the swamp key. I was kind of feeling the double dip into swamp again, and then double dip into Ganon's tower, but luckily the key was in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, we were all speculating. You guys only had, between all of you, stuff you didn't check. There was 5 locations outside of GT that the GT big key could still be in.
Worst case scenario would have been definitely Maya.
Or no, 7. There were 7. So there was the 2 locations in Meyer, the 2 locations in Eastern. There was the mushroom, the powder, which was never found, and also the swamp chest.
Yeah, I think that's...
And green pendant. Because green pendant was Meyer. So Meyer was technically 3 locations.
So not much left, but double dip into G-Tower is never nice.
And everybody skipped the T-Rock vanilla big key chest. I forgot about that too.
Definitely makes sense. It's usually nothing.
Well, here's the funny part. So logic, right? By logic standards, they want you to have all 4 keys to T-Rock to complete it. So if you follow the logic for that, it wanted you to go into T-Rock, go all the way to Laser Bridge to get the Swamp Palace small key, go into Swamp Palace to get the last Turtle Rock big small key, and then come back and finish Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but luckily I just hit the right side. Otherwise, this would have been a big time loss.
Yeah, Yuki actually is in GT right now. He's torch room right now. So he was behind you. He's behind you at the end, probably about a dungeon. He decided to go, he hadn't done Meyer yet. So once he got his 7th crystal, he decided to go into Meyer. If he had went straight up to GT, you guys would have been very, very close.
Well, it kind of makes sense to go into Maya after this kind of seed.
Yeah, I didn't blame him for it. I was just hoping, you know, that he would get up there. That way he could be semi-close. I mean, I think you still would have had it because you would have entered GT probably about a minute before him. But it definitely would have made it a lot more of a, if you had fallen or anything like that, it would have made it closer. But we saw that you are a very, 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 very experienced NMG runner. Like some of your execution, especially the
Yeah, definitely have to run MG. Like, execution doesn't save you all the time, but it can make quite a time difference. Which is nice to have, at least.
I mean, you almost 0-cycled Argus. It takes me 2.
Yeah, I kind of messed up the fire rod shots at him, but otherwise it was a pretty good fight.
So was there anything you particularly liked or disliked?
I disliked that we didn't get the boots early on. Like, we were what, 1 hour into the run or something? I don't remember. It was kind of late.
Boots were in Meyer Shed.
Yeah, so kind of late, I guess.
Yeah, because you guys got mirror early, but you didn't get flute. I think was the item that was kind of late.
Yeah, flute was in. Was it in Tower of Hera? No, right.
Yeah, basement tile room.
Oh yeah, tile room, right?
Yeah, because the thing with the logic there was like you needed that to get the boots, and then flip. Let's see, Titan's mitts were in desert. Where was flippers? Flippers were in Dark Death Mountain, so you needed Titan's mitts to get to the flippers, and flippers were locking the hammer. And we knew that early, so surprisingly, only one person fake flippered.
Yeah, I didn't want to sequence break too much, but when I saw the hammer, I was kind of concerned that I would be really far behind. I mean, we got the flipper kind of late on Death Mountain, but still, the knowledge really helped.
Yeah, there was actually one person who had knowledge of where the hammer was early, and they were actually the last person to get the hammer.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't find a flipper, then you can't even get it. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't see... I mean, the seed was bad logically, just because of what it wanted you to do. And the right but it was actually nice to you in the end. I mean, because you had to do so much clearing, you got to do Ganon with butter, riot shield, red mail, like ton of hearts.
Yeah, pretty much overkill.
I mean, you're used to doing it with what? 6 hearts tempered sword?
I think we had 18 hearts or something at the Ganon fight, so that was, yeah, pretty much impossible to die in the fight. Then silver arrows, butter sword, like pretty much the best equipment for Ganon.
Yeah, Yuki's actually finished doing Ganon right now, entering the last phase. So your opponent should be done here momentarily. And Ganon's down. You actually had a pretty high clear collection rate, but it wasn't as high as I thought it would be. You only got a 181.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising actually.
So there's 35 items you didn't collect.
I wonder where they are. Like, there was the chest and eyes.
Lumberjack ledge.
Oh yeah, right, I didn't collect some items that I saw. Right, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I didn't get the heart piece, the entire heart in the forest. Didn't pick up quite some items on the way. Yeah, okay, that makes kind of sense.
Alright guys, so for Yuki and for Loony. So Loony did win his half of the race. So Loony will improve to 1-1. Loony finished in 2 hours 27 minutes and 28 seconds, which is actually an improvement of their personal best by almost 10 minutes. And then Yuki finished second place in their race with 2 hours 27 minutes and 30 seconds. So they finished 2 seconds apart, but they are not in the same race. So let me see if they want to interview. As our last runner is in GT, making his gauntlet ascent. Are you there, Yuki?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, GG's.
Yeah, thank you. Man. I made many small mistakes. I died often, where I could maybe avoid it. But yeah, all in all, I was pretty happy with my routing at the beginning. I don't know where it started to go off a bit. But yeah.
To be fair, I think Zaen was just a little quicker. It ended up being when you left Swamp with your 7th crystal, Yuki was about to go into GT. So if you went straight to GT from Swamp, you two would have been super close together. But nobody blames you. Zaen had already checked Meyer, and then you went and checked Meyer. So
okay.
You, like I said, you were about a dungeon behind. So it just came down to small increments. Like, if you go back and watch, a lot of it was execution. You two were actually fairly close for most of the race. Me and Phantom Ryu couldn't really tell who was really edging out the other until way later in the race.
Yeah, Turtle Rock was pretty funny for me. When I went for the bridge, I realized, oh, I don't have a small key. And then I just ran back and get the small key from the one thingy there. And actually, when I checked the mirror cave, I went in and didn't realize I had the key. So I was kind of surprised. Oh, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the seed overall wasn't really. I mean, by the end of it, you guys collectively missed like 5 items on the overworld that wasn't in GT.
Yeah. Something like that.
So I think between pretty much all of you, it was super, super, super close to complete completion. So is there anything you particularly liked or hated about that seed?
I was a bit trolled by the Thiefstone big key. I thought, okay, maybe I should check the right house for the chance that the big key is there. And I thought, okay, never mind. And then I go there, and of course, the big key is there. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, we made comments about that. I've had that happen before. I check all 3 Village of Outcasts locations before I go into Thiefstown now, because I've had that happen before.
Yeah, this is my first time, and usually I also check them because it's not that much of a time loss to check it. And the chance for boots are also there, because Thiefstone is pretty fast with boots.
Yeah, all of you guys got trolled by the small key to Thieves.
Okay, I don't remember where was it.
Well, you guys got the small key to Thieves, but then you guys checked everything before finally going back into Thieves and finding Ether.
Yeah, I remember, okay.
That was literally your guys' lockout of T-Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, by the point you guys started to go back in, Zaen got there first. We were like, okay, it has to be Ether. And then T-Rock has to have both Ice Rod and Swamp Small Key, because that's just the way the logic has to be right now. Because of everything you guys have checked. And of course, that's the way it lined up too. The only other thing was it could have led into like a fetch quest into Ether, but it had to be there. But overall, yeah, like I said, like all of you guys checked that super late. Like you guys ended up all like, that was the last thing you guys did, all 4 of you.
Yeah. One thing I did realize, usually I always do fake trippers. And this one time I thought, okay, let's not do it, because I knew I had to do Aga. And of course, the hammer was there. If I would knew it a bit earlier, I think I could have done the routing a bit different.
Well,
Yeah.
see, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference because Desert Palace had the mitts, and you needed the mitts to get up to Dark Death Mountain in order to get the flippers, in order to get the hammer anyways. So I don't think it ended up making too big of a deal.
Okay.
Because Book was in pod.
Yeah.
So by routing logic, it wanted you to go into pod, get that. I forget where the Desert Palace small key was. You guys might have already had it at that point. But it wanted you to go get the book, go into Eastern, get the mitts, go up to Dark Death Mountain, get the flippers, and then go get the hammer.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that was one thing I could have maybe changed a bit, but I don't know. I rewatch and see if it's really did make much of a difference or. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
So
dawningark just took a. He was all the way up next to Ganon at the top and got knocked all the way across the room and down the hole. And that's what I was talking about the fire bat launching you across the room. It can literally launch you like 8-9 tiles. I'm sorry, that was just something I had to comment on right there, because he's still running. He's the last one. So here's the funny part. You made that comment about the hammer. dawningark was the only one to fake flipper.
Ah, okay.
So he was the only one who had prior knowledge of the hammer. Now, the part that made that funny was he was the last one to get hammered.
Okay.
It was just the routing. He ended up getting to Dark Death Mountain pretty late. But yeah, it ended up being not too bad of a race between you guys. Like, you finished, even on your guys' completion times right here, it's only a 10-minute difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you checked 3 less items than Zaen did.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, I think it comes down to execution a lot, and yeah.
Yeah, like if you go back and watch, Zaen almost zero cycled Argus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a couple really fast kills. Really perfected enemy strats. And we were talking about that right before you got in here.
Okay.
But overall, good race. You're in the 1-1 bracket now. So you're not out of top 8 contention as of right now.
Yeah, of course. And I don't know, I think many people feel about it like me. That the competition environment is just much more fun, for me at least. And yeah, I think it's not about only winning. The competition is really nice.
Oh yeah,
definitely a lot of fun.
I think pretty much. I think what we're gonna see is we're gonna see a lot of people, even if they get the. Hold on, dawningark just finished. Let me get official time for dawningark. dawningark has completed the race in 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 14 seconds. So let's wrap up, and I'm gonna wrap up here, but Sorry, I lost my train of thought by following dawningark here.
I was talking about the fun and the competition. Maybe this helps.
Yeah, so what I'm assuming for this Keysanity tournament is we're not going to see a lot of forfeits out. I assume we're going to see a lot of people finish the 5 rounds regardless of their rank. So if you like Keysanity, there's going to be a lot of races to watch still. Like yeah. I know I'm the same way. If I get to the one, I'm 1-0 right now. But if I go 1-2, I'm gonna finish the other 2 races. I don't care. I'm just here to have fun and do race against the community. All right. Any last comments from you two? Because I'm gonna pull the other 2 racing pair in here in just a second.
Okay, no. This was from me. Thanks for commentating, and thank you guys for watching our race. And yeah, that was from me at least.
No problem. And thank you two for running. You two did an amazing job. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Alright. Now we're bringing in both Dawning and LoonyCloud. Congratulations, you two.
Hello.
And Loony just squeaked ahead of you. Got in.
Yeah, I saw the dot done right as I was crossing the Ganon ball room. And I was just like, okay, it's done. Just take your time. Just finish in a timely fashion.
Yeah, you both, like, we were watching both sets of races, and both sets of races were actually fairly close. I think the first place and the second place finishers were both about a dungeon behind.
I felt so behind for most of that. I made so many gambles, and I played the logic as well as I felt like I could, but nothing wanted to pay out.
This seed was just like it was like 100% seed.
It was pretty close. Like, where were the flippers again? I don't remember where the flippers were, but I do remember that Ether was in the Thieves' Town big chest. Like, it just expected backtracking out of you.
The flippers were in Dark Death Mountain.
Oh, that's right.
And
I remember finding those and thinking I should have been way further ahead than I was.
Yeah, so here's the funny part. We were talking about this with the other pair. You were the only one to fake flipper. And hold on, I'm trying to see if your opponent's gonna come in. He said he was, but he hasn't come into chat yet. Give me just a second.
Yeah, I spent way too long finding the Titan's Myth to get to Dark Death Mountain in the first place, so I was hoping that it would be in one of those flipper locations and I'd just be done with it. Like I said, I made so many gambles and I tried to play the logic as best I could, but it just wasn't giving it to me.
Yeah, and it wasn't that you made bad gambles. To be fair, everybody 100% of this seed pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It was just that kind of seed. You guys all were pretty much even on checking stuff. If you want to know, Yuki checked 178, Zaen checked 181, Loony checked 184, and we're going to see your count soon.
Yeah, mine's rolling through. Knowing what the seed did to us, I know that it is just execution at this point. Like, if I hadn't made that quick check in the pod the first time and just kept going with the keys I had, I would have made up a lot of time. Not going to Skull Woods, it's just a lot of little things that added up.
Yeah, and for you, it was literally just a small execution and things of that nature. Loony just was able to incrementally pull a little bit ahead. It wasn't necessarily anything you routed wrong, did wrong, anything like that. He just incrementally pulled ahead of you a little bit.
No, it's just those little tiny routing mistakes I was making. Like, I forgot to mark what Turtle Rock was, so I had to go back up and check what Turtle Rock was again before I even went to find Ether. Yeah, that was a solid minute and a half I could have gotten back.
Well, see, that one was great because nobody knew what.
Nobody knew yet.
Nobody. When everybody found out it was Ether and they realized they didn't have it, they were like, And by the way, the last location every single one of you checked was the Thieves' Town Big Key Chest.
Thieves' Town Big Chest, yeah.
Like, you guys all cleared everything prior to that, and then you guys were like, "Oh, I guess that has to be Ether."
It's got to be it.
Because you guys were still looking for Ice Rod, Ether, Swamp Palace Small Key, and GT Big Key.
I was expecting to have to do like a double dip into Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace respectively. Like, I was expecting to go into Turtle Rock, get the Swamp Key Small Palace, or the Swamp Palace Small Key, go into Swamp Palace, find the Ice Rod there, have to go back into Turtle Rock to clear that. That one just so happens to have, I don't remember what I was missing for. No, actually, once I had the Small Key, I could full clear Swamp Palace, but I was not expecting to find Ice Rod in Turtle Rock. It was just that kind of seed.
Alright, and Loony's finally in here with us. GG, Loony.
Good job, Loony.
Hello, GG.
So,
I thought I had you. I thought I had you.
Yes, I don't know. This seed was just, it was something.
It was evil.
It was a full clear seed.
I knew that it was going to be problematic as soon as I saw the hammer on the island. Like that was the full tilt moment.
So what I told the other pair, you were the first person to see that. You were the only one to fake flipper early.
Right.
you were the last person to grab it.
I couldn't find, because I took so long trying to find the Titan's mids because the flippers were in Dark Death Mountain. I was explicitly trying to find the flippers. Where were Titan's mids again? They were somewhere way out of the way.
Right side desert.
Oh, that's right. But you needed the book to get into Right Side Desert, and the book was in Pod.
Yes.
Oh my god, this seed was evil.
It was another one of those logic chains. So if you want to go even more in depth on this, what we were discussing there towards the end, the seed wanted you to go into T-Rock. Logically, you guys only had 3 keys, right? It wanted you to go to T-Rock, go all the way to Laser Bridge, get the Swamp Palace small key, dip out of T-Rock, go to Swamp, get the last key to T-Rock, and then come back and finish T-Rock.
I'm so glad I skipped the vanilla big key chest there.
We were all hoping it had something in it.
I was terrified when I saw the 4th Turtle Rock small key in Swamp Palace. I was thinking, oh god, they put Ganon's Tower key there, didn't they?
Well, no, it's just think about it logically. So the logic wants you to have the keys. It's just like logically, that was a ped seed.
Yeah, I know logically the game wouldn't have expected it to me, but like I got it and I had that visceral response like, oh god, I hope it's not there.
Oh, actually, it couldn't have been a ped seed. Ice was a crystal, but it's interesting to put the key there because logically, well, I guess logically you have to have 1 key for Ice Palace, and there's 2. Is that right?
Yeah, it's expecting at least 1 going in.
Yeah. So I guess logically you don't have to have that key, but you had to have at least 1. But overall, you guys' runs were very smooth, very good. It was fun to watch.
I wasn't all that far behind in terms of like actual finishing beat, so I feel pretty good about that, especially given the nature of the seed. Like I was only 20 minutes behind the front runner, so I feel pretty good about that, even coming in last place.
If you go back and rewatch, like I said, your guys' item counts are all about the same. I'm waiting to see yours. I'm assuming it's similar in that 180.
Mine's going to be pretty high because I went out of my way for a lot of things.
So did everybody else, though. But Looney, we haven't heard too much from you. What have you? What were your thoughts? What were your likes and dislikes, Looney? Okay, so while we're waiting on see if he comes back to talk to us for a minute. So I know you dislike some of the placements and some of the logics. Anything you particularly liked?
When I finally got the map to Eastern Palace, I was like, oh, thank God I don't need it. I don't have the biggie for it. It's out of logic. I don't need it. And that immediately told me that Swamp Palace was my last crystal. It's just like, I'm done. We're go. I just need keys.
Yeah, we actually... So here's another thing that really surprised me. Nobody used the Sahasrahla.
Well, it was Green Pen from Isramire.
Yeah, but none of you checked it, I don't think. Like the first time... we didn't even see you check it, because the first time we marked it was a map check in Dark World.
Oh, menu time. That's disgusting. 182. Yeah, I knew it was going to be up there.
Looney, you back yet?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. So, what did you like and dislike, Looney?
It's really hard to say. I guess the best thing is that I was able to finish the seed. The first round wasn't as good with the lock in Dark Palace. So I actually was just really nervous over the whole race, and I'm glad I finished, and that I won this match is even better.
Alright. So, yeah, your collection rate, Dawning, was 182, so right on par with everybody else. So Looney actually checked 2 more items than you did. That's what I'm saying. You guys all like 100% of the race. It was amazing to watch.
We kind of
Yes,
had to.
I think one big difference could have been that I skipped Hera and the desert places early in the game and went straight to Aga, although it wasn't safe to say that it was a Aga seed at that time.
As soon as I saw the second key, I knew it was Agahnim. I knew it was the only way in.
All right. So we do have a 4 p.m. race coming up on SG1. So we will have to wrap this up so the next SG1 crew can get ready. Any final comments from you two?
Have fun watching the next matches.
I really hope that your guys' next seed is not like this one.
All right, so wrapping up, always, this is Keysanity tournament race. There's plenty more to come. Keep watching all day. I believe there's ones through midnight and 1 a.m. tonight. They go pretty late tonight. Thank you to Sabo and Hexmage for doing the tracking. And also Phantom Ryu for being my opposite commentator. I'm Abby Karma. Keep watching. Have fun.